Everyone's growing, changing, and evolving, even you. From the student nurse to the baby nurse, the veteran nurse off the bedside and into entrepreneurship, you have arrived and you have evolved. So, welcome to the Evolved Nurse podcast. I am your host, Keish, and this is another episode. I hope you enjoy it. So today we have a nurse who's leveraged her nursing career and pivoted into entrepreneurship by creating a unique scrub line that provides nurses and healthcare providers with a classy look that allows them to also express their sassy and educated sides. She utilizes her social media to give motivation and laughter. She's a mom, a nurse, an investor, the owner of Classy Acute Medwear, a 2 times children's author. Welcome, Nurse Michaelle, to the Evolved Nurse Podcast. Hello. So, first and foremost, when I was looking at the name of your business, I was like, Classy A Cute. So I was like, the A is for and. And then I was like, hold on, it's a cute.
Yeah, it's so cute, like a cute pair that we give for our patients.
Yes, I did not know that until I wrote it down a few minutes ago.
It's cool. It's cool.
So, the first question that I always ask here on the podcast is, did you always want to become a nurse?
Well, actually, I always wanted to be a doctor. I always
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be an OBGYN. I was always drawn to women and babies. So when I found out the amount of time it took to
Mm-hmm.
be a doctor, I navigated away from being a doctor and decided to be a nurse. But I always loved helping people, especially the moms and babies.
So, are you currently a mama baby nurse?
No, unfortunately, they never wanted to hire me. I've applied within my 6 years for the
Mm-hmm.
mother baby unit, L&D unit. I always got declined. So currently, I am working the stroke unit.
Okay. I have noticed with those jobs, like they gatekeep them so much because the nurses never go anywhere. Like they age out. They will be 70 years old and they'll still be on the unit. So it's really hard to get into those areas.
Yep, it's so true, girl. They love it over there. I mean, they don't want to leave, and I
Mhm.
understand children.
So have you decided that you're gonna like pursue that more because it seems like that's your passion?
I still want to support moms and baby, but I'm doing it a different route, which is going to
Mhm.
be mental health. So
Okay.
postpartum depression. So I'm still going to be working with the moms, but it's more on the mental health side, how I can be able to support them.
Okay, I love that because I'm a new mom and it's extremely important that we have people to tap into our mental health, help us understand how to navigate that baby blues because it's so hard to like go through those emotions because you never had them before.
That is so, so very true. And I can speak for me with experience. I have 4 boys, and my
Wow.
other three, I had support. I had my mother, my mother-in-law, my grandma. I had major support.
Mhm.
But with my fourth son, I didn't have no support, just my husband and my father-in-law. So it was different. I
Mhm.
never knew that I had anxiety until towards the fourth semester of my pregnancy, like when it was time for me to like have the baby because it was a scheduled C-section. It was just like
Mhm.
I'm just like on the edge, like, oh my God, like, I don't have that support. So after I had the baby, of course, my mom, they cooked for me. They catered to me like I was able to sleep. And
Mhm.
I'm not going to lie, depression did try to kick in a little, but with the support of, like meditating and, praying and seeking God and my father-in-law like stepping up majorly, like he
Mhm.
cooked for me. I never knew like, he can cook. Like I was just so shocked. So that was an experience for me. So with that, I was like, damn, like there are moms that are single mothers out there that
Mhm.
don't have the support. So I want to be able to, share my testimony and let them know, like, with God, everything is possible. Like, you don't need the baby blues or the depression. It's going to creep up. I'm not going to lie. It's going to creep up. But there
Mhm.
is ways around it where you can be able to, be able to relax and know that God is in control.
Yes, and have healthy coping mechanisms because it's so easy to get like bogged down in the emotions of just being a new mom. Your life has changed, and now you have to adjust to being this new person. Not only that, you have to grieve the person that you feel like you lost.
Yep. It's, it's, it was rough.
Yes. Look, I completely understand. I completely understand because in my pregnancy, it was just me and my fiance. And my parents came down for a few days after, but aside from that, like we are our own support system.
Ooh, that's a lot of balance, girl. I
Oof.
be with you.
Yes. So let's kind of go back into your experience into getting into nursing. So you wanted to be a doctor. You saw how much time it was going to take. Because that, when you see the 12, 13 years, in addition to, I just got out of high school and now I got to go another 12 years.
Woo, girl.
And then you learn that you have, and most of the time, most people don't know what residency really is. Then you have residency after that.
Yep. I'm gonna be
So,
40.
yes, yes. So once you decided that the timeline was too long, did you decide like, okay, so I'm going to pivot into nursing because it's closer to being a doctor, but not as much time?
Yeah. That's what made me pivot towards. 'Cause there was that time frame where I was just like, I'm not gonna give it enjoy life, until I'm 40, and all the
Mm-hmm.
studying, and then test anxiety, and I was just like, no. But nursing is even nursing is a different ball game. Even with all the studying and the sleepless nights,
Hmm.
like I thought it would be easier going into nursing versus a doctor, but it's tough. So well worth it.
Yes, yes. So like you just said, all the long nights, the hard tests, all of those things. Can you tell me what your experiences were in nursing school?
Ooh, my experience during nursing school, I had just had my son. He was 3 months old, and I decided, okay, now it's time to really
Mhm.
tackle my career. Um, my first, there was an entrance exam, the HESI, which I passed on the first try, and I was so happy. I was like, oh yes, this is meant for me. So,
Mhm.
I had some teachers that was hard on the grading. Like I did fail med surg by 1 point, and I had to retake the class, and I mean, it broke me. I was like, oh my god, the teacher could have just gave me that 1 point, but it
Mhm.
did light up a fire up my ass where I was like, okay, now it's go time. I'm like, don't play. So it did push me. Throughout all the other classes, I did pretty well. I was one of the kids where, oh, I have to get a straight A or I have to get a B. C's is not good.
Mhm.
But I had to come to realize C's get the degree. But I still was hard on
Look.
me. I'm not going to lie.
Mhm.
Um, Now that was nursing school. Of course, when it comes to the testing, when you're studying all these chapters. You're trying to read all these chapters because I'm not gonna lie, I did not read all those chapters. I skimmed through it, and then when you get your exam, it's a totally different thing. So that was a little like, ugh, like
Mhm.
what you're studying and what you're getting on the exam was two different things. So that was another thing. YouTube videos helped me out a lot. That's how
Mhm.
I was able to pass my nursing school. We had an exit HESI. I did fail the first time, which was also devastating, but I passed on the second try. Now then fast forward to the NCLEX. So my school, which was IPT Tech, ended up closing down. And I was like, oh my God, like I didn't even get
Oh,
my
wow.
APT to be able to test. So I reached out, I emailed the teachers like, hey, what's going on? Like, I'm done with school. Like, I didn't even get my authorization to test. Like, like, what's
Mhm.
going on? And she did tell me everything was okay, and I did end up getting the APT. Now, that was in 2016. 2016, I'm not going to lie, I thought, okay, I'm done with school. I'm not going to study. I'm going to pass the NCLEX.
Mhm.
So I went straight to go take the test, and my brother had just gotten into an accident. So I was
Oh,
like, okay, I'm
wow.
just going to take the test so I could be a nurse, so I could really understand what's going on, what the nurses are saying. Failed
Mhm.
it. I was like, oh, snap. Like, girl, you don't know everything. You better study. So I
Yes.
did take a little break before tackling the exam again. And this break was a little 2 years break.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I took a 2 year break. Like, life happened. Like,
It really
um,
does.
I had to help with my brother because he's now in a wheelchair. So I was helping him. I got pregnant. So I was focused on everybody else but myself.
Mhm.
So in 2018, I was like, it's time for you to, worry about you and your family. So I did take a tutoring class. I was like, cause I'm not gonna lie, I forgot everything. Took the tutoring
Mhm.
class, and I'm not gonna lie, I did not feel confident. So the tutor was the one who kicked me out of her class. She was like, "You got this. Go take your test." Bam, went to go take the test, and I passed it.
Good.
And I just thank
She had to
God for
push you
that.
out the class.
Yeah, she literally pushed me out the class. Like, I took one session with her, and I was like, "Oh, I'll take another session." It was the same, the same thing. But she was like, "No, Michelle, you can go. Go take your test. Like, you're good." And I still wasn't confident. I don't know. I wasn't
Mhm.
confident, but I needed that push for her to kick me out her class, not accepting me, for me to go take the test.
That is hilarious, but because I understand how lack of confidence translates into test scores, I completely understand. Like when you have and when you lack confidence, your test scores are poor
Hmm.
because you don't believe in yourself. You can't trust your gut. And normally the first answer that pops up in your mind is the correct answer because you know the information. You've read all the stuff and the overachiever syndrome, you spoke to this. When you come from making great grades in high school, like not having to try a lot, then you go into college and you get your first C. And you're like, hold on, a C?
Yep.
What a C? I never saw a C on my report card. So what is this? And then you start like beating yourself up and
Sure you are.
talking to yourself in a manner that you would never talk to somebody else. Like we have to give ourselves some grace.
You are hitting it on the nail, girl. Oh,
It is so terrible because I completely understand. I was there, like overachiever, honor students, Hope Scholarship, got to college, and it was like, hold on, this is a different
reality.
world.
Reality, girl. Reality.
It kicks in. So I'm glad she kicked you out her class because
Yes, too.
it made you have to have some type of confidence about yourself.
Yep.
And you
You
passed, and now guess what? You are here. And so for the students who are listening to this who have failed that nursing class, I have, she has, several other nurses have. We're here now. So don't give up on yourself too early. Cuz
Amen.
it's
Amen.
so easy to give up on yourself. But what was your comeback story after you failed? C's got degrees. Did you come back with vengeance?
Oh, yes. Listen, it was like, oh no, I have to push myself because I had a goal in my mind. Like, no, I need to become this nurse. The good
Mhm.
Lord has prophesied that you are going to be a nurse. So I need to put the work behind it. So yeah, I had
Mm.
to push hard. And like you said, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I did get lazy, but no, I had to push myself. I had to get out of that comfort zone
Mhm.
to push myself, and it was well worth it. Like
Yes.
Lakeisha said, yes, you are. Everything is not when your success is not just a straight point. You're gonna have obstacles. You're going to have when you're down. It's what you do when you're down or when the obstacles, you're going to overcome that obstacle. You're going to push
Mm.
yourself, beyond what you knew that you could even do, honestly.
Yes, because before nursing school, you never think that you're gonna go through something like this, something this rigorous. So
Yep.
you're almost like, "I shoulda went to med school."
Right. Right? Like everyone knew like you were the smart kid or you're the one with the AP classes. Like
Mhm,
college gives you a awakening and you cannot take that experience and not pursue your dreams.
mhm.
That's what I want you guys to know. Pursue your dreams no matter what comes your way. Always remain focused, remain the task at hand.
Yes, and on top of that, the time is gonna pass by.
Mm.
Whether it's the 12 years or it's 4 years or sometimes it's 20 years for some people because again, like you said, life happens. But when you know what your dream is and it's also your passion, so it keeps gnawing at you, God keeps giving you the vision and you keep being like, but the time,
Mhm.
but the time, just go ahead and do it because you're going to look up one day and you're going to be like, I should have done it.
Yep. Girl, you are preaching.
So now, you've graduated, you've taken your time off, had more children, you're in full mommy mode. You come back, you take your NCLEX, now you're a nurse. How did that feel for you?
Woo, it felt good, girl. It felt really, really good. What I am going to say, when you're a new nurse and you
Mhm.
have experience as a nurse, it is two different ball games. Your first
Yes.
nursing job, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. They are not gonna pay you, so don't go in nursing for the money.
$20.
Go in for the experience.
Yes.
And for me, my first job honestly was a school nurse, and I loved
Oh,
it.
it's a wonderful job to start off.
I loved it.
Mhm.
It was amazing. And then, I wanted the hospital experience with the mother baby unit, of course,
Mhm.
and I was just applying. I wasn't getting the job. I kept getting the decline emails. I'm not going to lie, it did get a little discouraging
Mhm.
because I was like, man, like, they want new grads. They have these, preceptor, these, oh my God,
Residency courses.
the residency
Mhm.
program, and I'm not getting accepted. So I just kept applying, and then I end up going into mental health.
Mm.
And I'm not gonna lie, mental health was the last thing on my mind.
It's
That was the
always
last
the
thing.
forgotten child.
That was the last thing on my mind. So I end up getting a job in mental health, behavioral health, and I end up loving it. Like it was a different experience. And it really had me thinking like mental health and behavioral health is needed in our community.
Mhm.
And then after my experience in mental health, I felt like I was losing my clinical skills. I
That
was
is
like,
always
I was
always
like,
lead us back to the hospital.
yes. I was just like, okay, I know I'm on mental health drugs, like,
Mhm.
okay, I need more. So I did go into the hospital, and that's where I did do rehabilitation, which was post stroke patients,
Mhm.
and now currently I'm working the stroke unit, and it is amazing. Of course, everything has their ups and downs. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna say nursing is glitz and glam, but I've learned so much that I got my clinical skills, and now I can leave
Yes.
today. So I'm good.
Look, the hospital, the thought that you have to keep your clinical skills fresh always leads us back into the hospital. It pulls us back. We like, I can't forget how to do this. So let me either pick up a PRN job at a hospital or go back.
Yep.
So you said that you went into mental health. You love that now you're on a stroke unit. What is your next pivot?
Well, right now I am doing my master's program
Oh,
for Psych NP program. God willing, I should be done by the end of the year.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
I love that. I love that. Oh my gosh. So now you've done all these things, right? But in the midst of everything that you have going on, you help and take care of your brother, you have children, you're doing a lot. How did you develop a scrub line during the midst of all of this?
That was in the middle of COVID. So the story behind my scrub line, my mom was a seamstress.
Mhm.
So growing up, she always was trying to teach me how to sew clothes, sew the buttons and
Mhm.
zippers. And I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to be outside with my brothers, with my cousin. I didn't want to do that girly stuff.
Yeah,
I
of
was just like,
course.
no, this is not me. Like she had her own little business at the house where workers were coming and they were making clothes. And in elementary, like she literally made all my school uniforms. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't like it. I
Mhm.
hated it because I wanted to go out and shop.
Mhm.
So that's the background with that. So in 2020, after my mom passed away, that was just like a piece of her. I was just like, okay, I know she always wanted me to do the seamstress, and
Mhm.
she loved scrubs. Like she literally full of scrubs. Like she just loved scrubs, like different styles of scrubs. So I was like, just to keep my mom's legacy in regards to the seamstress part,
Mhm.
I created the scrub line, and it's in honor of her. So that's how
Oh.
I created the scrub line because she was a seamstress and she loved scrubs.
So my condolences to your mom passing. I know that can be very hard, especially during a
It,
time like COVID, where it's a bit more lonely than any other time in our lives. Do you sew your own scrubs?
oh, girl, I'm blessed. I ain't that talented. No, I do overseas.
Okay.
So I had like a tech pack design, like
Mhm.
I came up with a concept. It was like, I like fashion as well.
Mhm.
So I like screenshot a couple of designs that I liked and then I sent it to a guy on Fiverr. It was like, hey, this is the design that I want. I sent it to the manufacturer in China. They didn't do it as I wanted the
Mhm.
design. It ended up being a different design and I ended up liking it. So I was like,
Okay.
oh snap! But my original design, they did not do that. But it's cool. I like it though. It's fabulous. Like
Mhm.
when I walking, when I go to the store, people's always stopping me for my scrubs, and I want our nurses, or not even nurses, healthcare providers, to be able to have that confidence, because just having the outfit and someone compliments you, that makes you feel good.
Yes.
Makes you feel real good.
So you liked the design that your supplier gave to you. Would you
Yep.
ever go back and tweak it to the one that you loved?
Yes, I have
Mhm.
tweaked it, but it's just not to
It's
my
still a
liking.
struggle.
It's just not to my liking. I'm just like, no,
Mhm.
you're doing it wrong. This is not how the picture is. So that I'm still like trial and error in
Mhm.
my original design, but I'm going to do that once I'm done with school. So I'm not gonna lie, I did take a little pause in regards to the business,
Mhm.
not how I was going full throttle. I'm like half throttle, like okay, I'm still reaching out. Hey, I need new colors, but I'm not
Mhm.
pushing it because right now I'm focused on the studies. I'm trying to pass on my classes.
Yes, because we know nursing school is
It's the
hard.
it's for the week.
It's challenging, it's time consuming. You have to learn how to balance life, business, especially when you have a business, balancing life, your business, your family, and school can become a lot. So you do have to find ways to scale back in some areas so that you can thrive in other areas.
True. That is so, so true.
Now, what are some of the biggest challenges that you had while developing your scrub line?
Woo! Was getting the actual product.
Mm.
the delay of the shipment. They kept saying, "Oh, we shipped it," and "Oh, give us 30 more days." And then
Wow.
what was the worst experience was customs. Customs held the scrub, which I understand they have to do their inspection, and then I had to pay additional fee to get my scrub. So
Mhm.
that was a major challenge, having to tell the consumers, "Oh, launching soon," where, they already told me, "Oh, it's going to be shipped this day." So I'm not going to lie, that was a little frustrating for me. Because I'm like, I don't want to look like a liar, like,
Yes.
so
Your
that was,
credibility.
yes, integrity, like, this is my brand, and I don't want I'm fresh launching this brand and it's
Mhm.
have a bad taste in their mouth. But the real supporters, they understood, they pre-ordered, and I appreciate them. I really do.
How did you navigate your pre-order campaign?
I was doing like a little campaign on Instagram, and then I did like Facebook ads.
Mhm.
So that's how I came about it. I had like a brand manager. Yeah, you could call her a brand
Oh,
manager. So she was helping me like how to launch and pre-launch and everything.
okay. That's amazing, but you did start during COVID, so like the ports were backed up. We were having a lot of issues with import export, and it was so hard for us to understand that. Like I think during COVID, it was like, where's all the stuff? Like, why
Mhm.
can't I get my stuff now? We're used to the Amazon effect.
Right?
Like, order it now and it's here tomorrow, or it's here later on, depending on where you live.
Yep. So true. It taught me patience. That's the one thing, and it taught me a lot about myself too.
Yes. Oof. Look, going into business is not for the weak.
Nope, not at all.
It is not for the weak. So, aside from your challenges as far as getting your product in, what can you say your challenges were as far as mentally?
Whew. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to give up, and I had to. It was really God, honestly, because I really wanted to give up. I was like, "All right, God, this is it. I don't want to do this no more. Like, it's becoming too much." So I had to
Mhm.
start working out. I started journaling. And started reading more books. So that's what kind of helped me in a way. And
Mhm.
then, just going outside, screaming out real quick, and then I'll be fine.
Yes, and most people don't know about the screen method. I remember I was going through something, and my cousin, she was like, "I'm gonna take you out here into these woods, and you're gonna just yell, yell, yell until you can't yell no more."
It worked.
And I was like, "Ooh, now that was good."
Mhm. It worked.
I had no idea about it. So God kept putting it in your spirit because it was your thought of making your brand was in honor of your mom. So you couldn't let it go.
God wasn't playing with me. Every time I
Mm-mm.
wanted to give up, I would send the word, and I'd be like, "Hey, God, okay."
Again? Not again.
I had to learn obedience, and that I struggled with when it came to God. Obedience. Oh my God, I'm still struggling with that.
So we have your scrub line. Again, like you have done and been so much for so many other people, you decided to pour back into yourself by becoming a nurse. But where did these children books come in?
My experience working at the mental health facility, I worked with
Mhm.
children, and um, like at the facility, they would restrain the kids, or the kids
Mhm.
would get upset. And I was the nurse where like, "Hey, come in the office, let's talk." And then it's like even in the Bible, the foundation starts with the children. You teach them while they're young. They may depart from the word, but they will come back. So I was like, wow, if I can have something for the children, like how to be able to cope with your anger. As
Mhm.
parents or adults, my culture, I could speak from my culture, like the Haitian culture, it's like, hey, you're mad. You can't be mad. You're a child. Like you have no
Mhm.
reason to be mad. But we are emotional beings. We have emotions, so we should be able to express our emotions. So I came about the book was like, hey, let me write on anger because a lot of kids have anger issues. A
Mhm.
lot of kids are depressed, believe it or not. And I wrote the book so I can be able to give them some coping skills to be able to deal with that emotion. Like, the children's book, the first one, it's just, relatable. Like the kids are in the playground, they were
Mhm.
playing, and then the ball hit the kid, and then the kid got upset, which it was a mistake. So, kids are first, oh, I'm so angry, but I
Mhm.
gave them some coping skills to be like, to be able to navigate, because I didn't have that growing up. So I had to deal with my emotions or use it out on the street fighting with other kids where
Mhm.
if I had someone to, hey, when you're upset, breathe, use this technique, it will help you. So that's how it came about with the children's book because mental health after COVID, it brought more awareness,
Mhm.
and I believe our children need it.
Yes, like they definitely need it because I feel like in Black cultures, we are not allowed, like our generation, now we're teaching our children that it's okay to feel, but in our generation, like you either suck it up,
Yep, that's all
get
you have to do.
over it. You're not allowed to, like, you can't be sad for too long. You can't, and that increases mental illness in so many individuals. And that's why we see a uptake in mental illness and how people navigate it because most people they don't see mental health professionals because they don't look at mental illness as a disease.
Mhm. So true.
Just like you have hypertension, like you have diabetes, and you go to the doctor for the signs and symptoms of those, and you should be trying to prevent those things from happening because some of them are preventable. You should do the same thing for your mental health.
Amen. What you're saying is so true.
Like, look, I don't want to pay for my therapist. I don't be wanting to pay, but I know I need to go.
Yes. No, it's
So I bite
true.
the bullet and I go.
And you feel so much better when you're releasing all that
Mhm.
emotion. And it comes to part of your healing process too. It wouldn't be so much unhealed adults, and then that's creating another thing for the next generation, next
Mhm.
generation. We have to be able to break that cycle. I'm all about breaking the cycle.
And you know what? And I think that that is something that we're actively doing because you
Yeah.
can even see in like our older generations when they see how we parent, it's so new to them.
Yep. Girl. Yeah.
They're like, you letting them kids have feelings?
Yep. So true. Yeah. It's okay.
Yes.
Cry. It's okay. Let it
Okay,
out.
so yes. So what about your second book? How did that come into play?
That was personal for me because
Mhm.
my mom and dad had got divorced, so I was a little sad.
Mhm.
So that's how that book was related. Like that was a personal one for me. Like how to be able to deal with the divorce between the parents, which there's a lot of divorce that's going on. Well, you know what? I think it's a lot of couples staying together now. I don't know. I've been seeing more. But, for any child that has to go through a divorce, to let them see the positive side, like, hey, dad is still involved. He may not be physically here, but you're still able to go shopping with him.
Mhm.
So that was the reason of the second book. Because there's
Okay.
nothing like Daddy's Little Girl.
Look, I I just recently lost my dad and I was a daddy's girl.
My
So
condolences, Jesus.
I can definitely understand, like, well, not totally understand, but I can empathize with children who lose their parents to divorce. Like they feel it's a loss because you go from seeing your parent in the household every day, regardless of what the relationship is like between the parents. Like you know what your relationship is like with the parent that leaves. So
Mhm.
mourning that and not knowing how to navigate those emotions.
Yep. So
So, yeah. So what platforms are your books on?
currently the platform is it's on Amazon platform and also my
Mhm.
website, which is called www.masteringouremotions.com. Did can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, love?
We still kind of breaking up.
Still breaking up?
We're still kind of breaking up a little bit.
Okay, let
Okay.
me.
Talk to me again.
Can you hear me? No,
Yes, I
still
can hear you
breaking
now. Okay,
up.
so I can hear you.
I'm sorry, girl.
It's okay. It is okay, I promise. So where can we find the books?
You can find it on Amazon and also my
Mhm.
website, which is www.masteringouremotions.com.
So that was www.masteringouremotions.com
Yes,
and Amazon.
correct.
And I'm reiterating that because you did break up a little bit while while you were saying it.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Let me see.
Can you hear me, love?
Oh, she just dropped.
Hello?
No. Ooh.
Can you hear me? Hey, Lakeisha, can you hear me?
All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello?
You still breaking up a little bit.
Oh, let me see. Are you able to hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Can you hear me, love?
All right. Yes, I'm just trying to make sure that I can hear you because I think we just dropped a few seconds ago. So I want to make sure before we start talking that our connection is good.
Okay.
But
What area?
I think we're good. I think we're good.
Hey, my love.
So you have like a large resume. And that's great for entrepreneurship, for nurses. It allows student nurses to look at us and see that you are way more than just a nurse.
Amen.
There are so many different things that you can do as a nurse that you didn't even think that you could do. Like you're a business owner, you're an author, you're still navigating nursing, you're in nursing school. Like, look, you got a lot going on. So, with all of that, what is one piece of information that you can give to the upcoming nurses?
One piece of advice I would give to the upcoming nurses: don't ever, ever give up and don't ever limit yourself to just the bedside or you're being called just a nurse. There's unlimited opportunities in nursing. Like once you have your nursing degree, it's like the door of heaven is open. Like it's so many avenues as to which direction you can go.
Mm-hmm.
Push through the obstacles. Don't ever, ever, I'm going to repeat again, ever give up. It is worth that nursing degree. There's no better dope career than a nurse. I'm sorry.
Because it's no limit on what we can do.
Amen.
Like the sky is literally the limit.
Yep. Amen.
And if you want to pivot today, you can pivot today. If you want to go back tomorrow, I'm gonna put in some applications for that, but it's always job opportunities out there. It
Always. It's just unlimited opportunities. Like, what career you know that you can be an IT nurse?
Mhm.
What career you know that you could be a school nurse? You could be a bedside nurse. You could be an aesthetic nurse. Like, it's so much data entry nurse. Like, it's so much in nursing that you can do.
Yes, it look, I did not know that initially. There was so many things that we could do as nurses, but just having your nursing degree. I know people who don't use it. They like operate their businesses full time, but they keep their nursing their nursing license active just in case.
Yep, that's the case.
So, like you said, while in nursing school, you used YouTube in order to make your way through. What are some other resources that you can give to nurses students on how to have better study acumen and other things?
I would highly, highly recommend be organized, set time blocks to be able to study, try to remove all distractions. And I know this generation of nurses are more into the social media, but you have to cut that out
Mhm.
to be able to study. Start answering questions while in nursing school just so you can get the hang of how the test will be. So when you're testing, you would have an idea based on the rationale and the
Mhm.
answer choices that you're choosing. And also find out what's your learning style.
Yes.
That's
So,
very, very important. You want to know what is your learning style.
most of us don't know what our learning style is.
So true.
We
So so
don't
true.
we don't learn until like we're halfway through nursing school and it's like a aha moment.
Yep. You're so right. So that's early on. Try to find out your learning style because, like you said, that was me too. Found out towards the end. I was like, oh, no, I'm a visual learner.
And now
But
you got it.
hmm
Now another nursing test comes by and you like, "Oh, this is fine." But if it was undergrad and that first second semester it's like, "Hold on.
yeah,
What do you mean priority first? ABC? What do you mean by all of these things?"
right. Or knowing how to delegate.
Mhm. Well, Miss Michelle, we are nearing the end of this episode. And I just want to tell you that I appreciate you for coming on to this podcast. We have been like trying to get with each other for a little while now. So you didn't have to come on here, but you did. And you gave time back to not only pour into me, but to also pour into the upcoming nursing community.
Lakeisha, I thank you deeply from the bottom of my heart for this opportunity. I just pray that God will continue to bless your podcast, that it will reach millions and millions of
Miss Michelle,
nurses,
don't make me cry.
entrepreneurs. No, I'm serious, and I pray that God gives you a double portion for everything that you are doing in the nursing community. It is definitely needed. The nursing community needs to continue to stick together.
Yeah, yes. Oh my goodness. Hold on.
Oh,
Well, can you let our listeners know where they can find you?
you guys can find me on Instagram at nurse underscore Michelle. Michelle is spelled differently.
Mhm.
Michaelle. Also, you guys can follow the scrub business, which is classy acute medwear. Follow more of the personal side because I be cracking jokes on there.
Yes.
Love cracking jokes. I think I'm a low key comedian. Just think so. But yes, I always I'm an open book.
Mhm.
I respond to DMs. I respond to comments. Like I don't hold nothing back because it's nothing like having someone who's in the field who you can relate to. It's nothing like a community. That's what I'm all about, building
Yes.
community.
Yes. So, y'all, if you have children or if you are a child of parents who have divorced, yes, it may be a children's book, but it still can help you. So, go to Amazon, go purchase her book for your child, for yourself, for a child that you know who struggles with their emotions and that their parents may not be able to help them navigate that because they never navigated it themselves.
Yes.
So, since we are ending this episode, thank you so much for if you've reached this point of the episode, thank you so much for listening to the full episode. If you have any questions, you can always email me at theevolvednurse@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at the Evolved Nurse. You can follow our Facebook community, Nurses Evolving. And also, I will be developing some community building techniques here coming up. So, next week will be the first meetup here in Jacksonville, and
Whoop, whoop.
outside of that, I'm gonna start trying to do more nursing meetups so that we can just build nursing communities in general. So, like I said, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, and thank you. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.